whole deal. If it's ridiculous, I would.
I mean, it depends on what they're asking for. I mean, they're still a cash buyer. So.
Still, I would.
Yeah. All right, welcome to the Bookmap stream. It is Wednesday, June 26th, 2024, and it is 10:30 Eastern Time. We just had a very, very large dump from 20.030 to 2942, so a 90-point rollover out of nowhere on NASDAQ. Uncanny what just occurred. Uncanny. I want to go back and look at the timestamps from when I actually clicked end stream to the time that sell-off started. Uncanny. So anyway, we have got the Bookmap stream going on here. So if you're in the Discord server for Bookmap, you should be able to see the stream there, and as well as the YouTube stream for the Bookmap. Before we get started, we're going to go over a promotion that Bookmap is running right now, or I should say an event. They're having a 2-day trading strategy event on how to place your stop loss at correct levels and avoid getting shaken out of winning trades. So if that's something you want to be a part of, head over to an Axia Futures link. I'll put that link in the comment section of the YouTube chat that is sponsored by Bookmap. All right, so what are we doing after the... I got to get this muted 1 second. So what are we doing after the big move there? So we had a 30 point, 40 point bounce on NASDAQ, and then now huge roll back over and bounce right off of POCs, showing that the volume is kind of still holding on to the buyer section. That's now a decent bottom wick. They're buying back up already under volume. I can, yes. Let me get that. 1 second. Copy. There you go. And there's the Discord link as well in the YouTube channel. All right, so already bound back up here, so I guess that was just a momentary profit taking so far. Looking on liquidity here, we've got 55.15 on ES. NASDAQ has had this morning down a lot at 900, 875, and 850. It's still there. They've kind of fluctuated a little bit, taken on and off there, but the unfortunate part of today is that there's not a lot of large icebergs on the tape. In fact, there are none on the tape. Even if you go back and look before, we had one isolated iceberg there at 55.24 for a quantity of 250, but that is it. Nothing else came on the tape. So I would like to see a lot of robust icebergs come on the tape to give us a little bit of confidence there. But overall, let's see how this move plays out. Do we have a little profit-taking bounce and then roll, or is this thing going to pop back down at the moment? Let's see. If this candle fails, it might be actionable right now. NVIDIA is getting smoked. They came all the way back down and almost put a new low of the day in, but they are not bouncing up yet. However, Microsoft, new high of the day. Apple, new high of the day. Meta is still hanging out at the highs. Google is about to put another high of the day in. The entire market is going up except for NVIDIA, the golden child. VIX popped back up to 13. TLT is going to new lows. XLF going down to new lows. Russell is coming down. That one probably be a better one to short than the others if you want to take a short for now. A little bit of Russell is getting smoked. Good morning, Jason. How you doing? Got the six-pack up here so y'all can see exactly what's going on. We got the Dow top right. RTY still coming off hard. ES is still 55.27 and climbing up nicely. Definitely don't want to chase a move like that out of nowhere. A move like that out of nowhere has a great tendency to whipsaw people. So when I see that coming out, if I'm not in a very early point of that trade, Manos Arribas until I see something confident. It's unfortunate. It's a FOMO driver right there. Thinking of waffles? Delicious. I can't even tell you the last time I had a waffle. It's been forever. Forever. All right. In the morning? What's in the morning? Smoking a pancake. It's a 90s move right there, man. Taking it way back. I love it. Amazon with a parabolic move on the 5-minute. Yep. So Amazon's going nuts. Apple's going nuts. All the tech is climbing hard, except for NVIDIA. Which reminds me, the range expansion on Amazon continues as well. Possible test of 194. Let's call it 193.80 on Amazon. Being very patient and taking a trade and not really seeing much except to put on AMD at the open. Well, in the strict world of ES, there hasn't been all that much action, net resulting action, I should say, since June 20th. Every single candle has net resulted us back into about the 53.30 block on ES. So if you're a scalper, you know, we're going back and forth here. You have to be very timely on your highs and lows. If you're a swing trader, there's not really much to go off of unless you manage to catch a short early on Thursday, June 20th. And then, of course, if you're playing like the pre-market bounces and rejections. So it's just a game of patience right now. Are the buyers going to step in and bring us to 5,600 and change? Or are we going to refresh back down and retest 5409, which is the retest from June 6th and May 20th? red, 55.25. This candle breaks, we're going to go. We're going to take it. Just shows you how much. Oh, look at that 55.02 liquidity. So we have shifting liquidity on the books, 55.02. I love to see it. That's confidence right there, baby. That is confidence. Confidence. 55.20. CVD is still green, but they hedged a lot of that off. Here comes the red to retest 55.22. 55.22 right now is the prior demand. Micro, because that is where we bounced. This shows that there was some demand there at 55.22. So if that gives out, I'd put a pretty decent confidence on giving 55.18. If they bottom wicket, business as usual. How do you know it's just actually shift or not a spoof? One, we've got two different levels coming on at 55.10 and 55.02. And then two, I don't really know unless I start to see that come on and off. If I see them spoofing that baby on and off, you'll see like kind of like Morse code pings here. Then it's probably a spoof, and it'll just wipe right off. But if I see them building this position, adding more to it, shifting additional levels lower, then I'll use those as targets. You're welcome, Walker. Good stuff. I'm struggling to read this today. I mean, honestly, since that one trade this morning, I haven't touched it. So I'm with you. I'm kind of sitting pretty here, or not pretty. I'm sitting patiently, waiting for something I can get my claws into, if at all. Do I need to trade today? No. I'm not Tyrone Biggums. Y'all getting more trades today? Where'd the GEX shift on that baby? Another top wick there on ES. Apple's coming off here now. Maybe a little put on Apple would be nice too. Let's see. Yeah, Amazon went nuts, dude. Went nuts. There's exposure all over the book, so GEX is not really all that helpful today. 54.55 down to 54.35, but it's all over. They're still building this cat here, though. Is there anything else much lower? Not really. We've got a couple of small potatoes down there, but that's it. 55.02 is a nice little level. Oil's getting crushed too after rejecting macro levels and still heading lower. The whole theme here is I'm trying to build a picture. This whole week we've had a little bit of morning choppiness followed by a pretty big move, whether it be up or down. It's been a minute. How's the family and the farm? What's up, Uber? It's been awesome, man. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. In fact, yesterday they dropped off the trusses to the build, the roof trusses. So that's fun. Seeing a big old stack of wood. Just kind of things are coming together, man. How about yourself? Doing well? Had a death in the family. Oh, man. I hate to hear that. Hate to hear that. I know that's not... it's a hard time to go through. I know that for sure. Alrighty. I told someone I hate to hear that at one time, and they thought I meant I didn't want to listen to it, but they were telling me. Oh man, that's awkward. That's awkward. Well, immediate back to chop. So large red engulfing and then 3 candles pinged. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the big outliers in the market. When things are kind of chopping like this, I want to keep an eye on the outliers. What's happening with the outliers? Are they going to shift? Are they going to correlate? Where's the liquidity looking at? Which we're still building a little lower on NASDAQ here. And ES is still building down into 55.15 and 55.02. We have Apple, who put on a little bit of red, but they're still rocketing. Microsoft is still blasting to new highs, and then Amazon is blasting to new highs. It's not a great environment to short. I'll say that. What, long into that drop? Nice. Way to go. Coming on back up. Can you check out Tesla and give your thoughts? Definitely. Let's go take a look at Tesla. So Tesla's 192. They have been, for the most part, back and forth chopping for 4 months now. And now they're finally starting to test higher into the upside of that range. Overall target being about 199.5 is the upside on Tesla. They are breaking out on low volume here, which shows that it could be a qualified move to go at least a little bit higher after the nice bottom wick yesterday. So it's a nice little move up. This looks like a breakout move into at least 199, 198. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. What do I think about Rivian? Let's go look. I mean, massive gap up. They're already trying to give back some of it. But what this gap did, is that this gap filled the gap from February 26th. So, there's a gap of a gap. And right into that area, which is going to be hard supply. Now, in terms of long-term fundamentals of the stock, I don't know. You know, it was one of those... Rivian was one of those names that had a very niche type of way of doing things. I think it was I think they were the ones that did the interchangeable batteries, or was that NIO? NIO was the interchange. I don't know. They look awesome. You know, Rivian vehicles look awesome, but you know, do you want to pay 115 grand for an SUV? Maybe not. So, in terms of fundamentals, I have no idea. But on the chart, you know, they've been down for a long time. And they've come finally to their first supply. Next target will be about 24.5 if they start to gain some momentum. But there's a whole bunch of selling on that name. It's going to take a lot to get that name up off the ground. So, is it something I want to hold long term? Probably not. I'm not a big believer in the EV industry myself anyway. So, but it's going to take a lot of buying to get the thing up off the ground. That was NIO with the interchangeables? Yeah. Yeah. I'll get a Tundra. Oh, yeah. Love my Tundra. More liquidity here, 55.17. Tacomas are nice too, 80,000 if I'm not mistaken. Whew. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, new check prices are insane. Because of decel. I'm in the money with my shares. I'm going to get a set of stop loss. For Rivian? Mike? Yeah. Let's see. For me, I don't know what your strike is on them. I definitely would not give back 1350. If they come back down and give out 1350, then this is just simply a news pop and that's it. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, I would probably say 1450 because that's a $1 gap between 1350 and 1450. It's pretty common for gap ups like this to come down and just kind of quickly fill the gap, but anything more than a gap fill, that's going to be fundamentally dissolved, and I definitely don't want to be a part of that. So, but then again, it all depends on your long-term thesis. If you're super bullish on them, then let it sling, baby. I'll see if you can get back up to 40, 50. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can't tell you how many of those I've had my crosshairs on. Or the Land Cruisers. Hurt my heart to blow up Toyotas. 14.5? Yes. 14.5 would be a conservative target to put your stop on. 13.5 would be a more aggressive target to put your stop on. That's the gap. Watch where they're low in the credit. Still no icebergs here. And still bottom looking everything. But this is going to be a nice little double top there on NASDAQ up in this area. Volkswagen's investing $5 billion into a Rivian. Yeah, but look at Microsoft. All the tech is flying again. Looks like there's a tropical storm heading into Florida. Large red candles. NVIDIA new low of the day, getting destroyed. Getting destroyed. God, I don't know what to make of it, man, though. Like NDX, I'd love to put on a trade, but when I see half of tech going up and NVIDIA going down, all over the place. The flow right now is dead flat on the S&P. We have slight uptick in put buying. We have call selling on NVIDIA. We have call buying on Amazon, call selling on Microsoft, according to the flow. That'll be a triple bottom on NVIDIA if they hold that. But I don't like a quick retest off that third test. That's too quick. Carvana might blast off. More liquidity. 55.10, 55.05, 55.17. Very dull day. The shareholder meeting is my thesis. I can't imagine the shareholder meeting being anything but bullish on NVIDIA. It's 12 p.m. so I can see why they dumped beforehand. Looks like it, yeah. You see the liquidity is still building lower. There's not really much else up top at all. Everything is still building lower, but we have no icebergs, which is usually a little bit bigger sign of confidence and volatility to see that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's like everything is so light that it's just going. The liquidity is very light. The icebergs are very light. The price action is, bottom wiki but slow. So, yeah. But look on ES. Let me show you. Let me show you all this. Like this is the chart here. This is what is making everything so whipsawy and why people aren't hitting bangers right now is because the past 5 sessions. There's 2 things to look at on that chart right there. One is we've got a very, very declining volume there from, let's see, the 24th until now. You see the volume is dropping. But look at the price action. Every time at bottom wicks, it heads back to 55.30. Every time at top wicks, it heads back to 55.30. We're just pinned flat for 5 sessions now. And we're trying to make heads or tails of what's going on here. Yeah, NASDAQ is doing the same, except theirs is 20,000. 55.30 for ES is 20,000 for NASDAQ, right back to it. Although NASDAQ went a little bit heavier on Monday. But it's because of all the divergences we're seeing. I mean, look at the top 6 tech stocks right now. They're all incredibly green, except for NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks like it wants to break this floor. That looks like, let me go to the 5-minute. This looks like a descending triangle, which is representative of a break of support. 122.5 retest would be there. Probably because everyone's expecting the bullishness to happen and hitting calls, the dealers are going to roll this baby over and kill the call premiums. Collect all that money, baby. Here comes NVIDIA, new low of the day. Dropping back over. NASDAQ, large red sweeping candles. ES is same. On down. Which animal should I use as my avatar? Got a black bear, saber-toothed tiger. Whatever a spirit animal is. Yeah. You know why I don't believe in the spirit? I mean, aside from the obvious religious aspects, but spirit animals? It's because nobody picks the bad animals. No one says, hey, I'm a dung beetle. My spirit animal's a dung beetle. They pick just the most stereotypical, strong, like fighting animals. Like I'm a tiger. Like someone's got to be a dung beetle. Might as a flamingo. I'll deal with that all day. No, I thought it was a joke too. But when I was in basic training, what, years and years ago, on Sundays we were allowed to go to religious services, and all the religious services were about 30 to 45 minutes long on Sundays. If you weren't a religious service, you had to be in your barracks, which is terrible because you're cooped up all day. So we would pick the longest service. We would just pick whatever the longest the longest one, and we would go to that one on Sundays. Well, the Wiccan service was 2 hours long, so we all picked Wiccan. Everybody picked Wiccan. There's like 30 people in all the other services and like 3,000 people in the Wiccan service because it was the 2 hour service that got you out of the barracks. And they all knew what we were doing. They know why we were there. But like 20 minutes they spent, and that was crazy because I'm sitting there watching this as a Christian myself, watching a Wiccan service, and they're all talking about you have to pick your spirit animal. Like you have to meditate, reach out into the universe, and have your spirit animal contact you. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, everyone's picking wolf, bear, tiger, that type of thing. I'm like, there's a lot of wolves and bears out there. Anyway, funny story. Red candles all the way back over into the 55.23 liquidity. So once again, liquidity is still pulling down, and it may look like it's going to play out here. NVIDIA is getting destroyed. Huge red candles as a descending triangle breaks lower on a third support. So that's what was throwing up red flags for me, is on NVIDIA, when you have a quick retest like that, a third retest. Second is not so bad. But on the third retest, when it happens that fast, on a rollover and it forms that little descending triangle type thing, that's a red flag. Chupacabra. Not just a wolf, but the alpha of the wolf pack. It chose me. I don't want to be the one military guy that picks rat. Mosquito shows up in your visions. Oh my gosh, a hawk to a mosquito. And another bottom wick. Just wick central, man. Wick central. Got to be quick on the moves if you're going to play them. Unless you're looking for an overall move. The liquidity still says 55.02. The flow is still predominantly call selling, put buying on SPX. Strong put buying on SPX, actually. 54.55 is the GEX, which is 6 points below where we currently are. Assange has been freed. Yeah, saw that. Oh man. NVIDIA still dropping. We've got Apple still rocket ships, man. Crazy stuff. ES is still ES and NASDAQ are both kind of pinging. It just shows you how heavy, like how much of a player NVIDIA is in the market. Like the way I'm seeing tech here, NASDAQ normally should be up like 190 points, but they're red because one name is selling off. Actually, the whole market's selling off except for 4 names. So actually, that's the proper way to look at it. But usually, tech is driving everything. Still top wick there. ES is still dropping as well. Red candles. Watch out for this POC here, 55.23. I'm seeing if they can put on any icebergs here. The iceberg line has been inactive all day. It's funny how some days they just don't put on any icebergs, which typically means we're not going to move in a very large way here. We're just waiting. Maybe it'll happen after the NVIDIA shareholders meeting. Plus, we do have PCE on Friday, remember? And then non-farm payroll next week. Sellers are dominating the chart at the moment and the volume. One thing I don't understand, if icebergs are hidden orders, how does Bookmap know where they are? Are there iceberg Bookmap we don't see? Well, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff out there we don't see. I mean, that's the whole nature of us being retail and them being the big dealers. But it's the market buy order. You know, it's the MBO order flow out there is what Bookmap tracks. That's why, in order to have the iceberg indicator, you need to have a subscription to the MBO package. So they are hidden until they transact, and then they can see that kind of order flow and tell you it's an iceberg. There you go. All right, so ES is slowly taking out this little after this late morning support and then going back to this morning's at what 55.22 and then down to 19, which is it's only 6 points down. We're not talking about a phenomenally huge range here. But Apple continues to put new highs in. Watch after the shareholder meeting, they're going to rotate it. They're going to sell off Apple and put it all on NVIDIA. I would not be surprised to see that. There we go. Down to 24 and 20. Still dropping. SPX is 54.58. 54.55 is the GEX that currently was 3 points down, and we're about 2 points off of it now. NVIDIA is still getting destroyed. Apple's still going higher. Still trying to grab this liquidity down here. Now 55. They just absorbed the main level. Now 55.18's on deck. So they're still rolling liquidity lower here. You see that. So you still see, where's the ellipse right here. This stuff is rolling down with nothing on deck up top. And with this level down here at 55.01 is being rolled here too. So just it is lower quantity stuff, but it's still there and it is skewed. So the skew of the book right now is pulling lower. NVIDIA is still selling off 122.79 on down. 55.21 down. Beautiful. That's the first iceberg we've seen in a while. 106. That's very small. Negligible. Adding more exposure down here. 5,500, 05, and 00. Here comes 20. Still breaking lower. Beautiful. Watch out for the test on 17 on 18. Let's call it 1850 on ES. But now we're breaking even lower into this liquidity block right here. The skew is very much lower at the moment. Now we're falling off big time. Big time. Wow. Exceptional. NVIDIA is coming off here. And we just tested low of the day here. We didn't put a new low in on ES. NASDAQ is coming on down doing the same. So beautiful sell down into this order block. Couple of icebergs coming on here too. Dropping. There it is, 55.16. 8 threw that up. New low of the day for ES. New low of the day for ES. Now, what does that tell us in terms of the morning range? Exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. 55.15 is now the main level. We have very, very small icebergs come on the tape, so nothing crazy. But they're coming on, so keep an eye on them. Volume is increasing on this move. I believe the meeting is at 12 Eastern, if I'm right about that. So, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. That is the third highest volume candle of the day, and about now just became the second highest volume candle of the day, right there. You jump in to save Trippy. Transacting into support. Marcus knew the jabronis went long, so they dumped it. That's exactly why they're doing it. Yeah. Exactly. $55.18. That's a lot of charts. Yep. So this is my 6-pack. It's my market awareness chart. It's Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, the Dow, VIX, and the bonds. It allows me to track what the market is shifting and doing at any given time. 8-pack, actually. It's an 8-pack now. I changed it. Yeah, I've been doing some working out, so it's an 8-pack now. Uptick on put buying on the S&P. Yeah, where's Mr. 50 today? My boy, Mr. 50. Swimming in his money. Oh, he's been raking in the past week, man. Definitely. Ayo, what's up? I'm out and handling some business. Uh oh, he's handling business, breaking kneecaps. He's like, where's my money? The most I'll have but once is ES and NASDAQ. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, when I'm trading, because I trade ES and NASDAQ pretty much primarily, and I like to have a good market awareness. I can't tell you how many times I've been saved by having these charts up and just watching shifts on the market, especially when I'm watching like NVIDIA now is tanking and Apple's going straight up. So being aware of divergences, being aware of market movement, a good indication of what these are doing. Can you please check on gold? Yeah. Yeah. So gold right here has been, gold and silver, both of them, precious metals, have been on a couple of day downturn into support. Gold right now is testing their major support. Actually, like they already did, they just bounced off of it, 2305. That's their main support right up here, this lower 2300 block. So this looks like it's got, so the buyers got their work cut out for them. So today and tomorrow are pivotal days for gold. So, and once that breaks, if it does, then we'll come on down to the next support. But they are at their pivotal mark right here. We have increased volume, increased sell pressure on gold. On the 15-minute longer time frames, of course, like the weekly, is nothing but top wicks. This is a four-time weekly test on gold in the lower 2400 block. So that's obviously a very large support. With DXY starting to bounce again, will this affect the market? Well, it's one of those things where it doesn't necessarily affect the market, but what's happening with the market behind the scenes is making that stuff work in a way that's correlated. No, I think a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, like DXY, the bonds, the yields, the Dow, that kind of stuff, we'll see a lot of uptick in volatility probably in the next 48 hours, depending on largely on what happens tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern? I think it is 9 p.m. Eastern, which I don't even know what time that thing starts. 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern. Am I going to stream that? I should, but no. But no, I think it's too politically charged to stream that. It's going to be a dumpster fire, though. Got about 10 minutes left in the stream, and we got a call that today. That'll be our hour of Bookmap. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. I know we've had a decent little downturn there, but overall it's still only about 15 points on ES, so it wasn't insane. But we still have liquidity shifting down 55.15, but they're already bouncing this thing back up. So it's just a range day right now. It's just a range day. A little bit of bouncing. Not opportunity to be patient, but I have plenty of those. Like actual patience. Yeah. McDonald's plant-based burger tests failed in Texas. Why would you even test that in Texas? That's the wrong place to test that. Somebody's marketing departments in the R&A departments need to be fired. That's like opening a MAGA clothing shop for sale in downtown San Francisco. That ain't gonna work. If it sells there, it's selling there. That's right. Oh, man. That's why it's the best place to test it. If it works there, it'll work anywhere. That's true. Yeah. That's true. So there's a 6-point bounce on ES. And we're smack dab in the middle of the range. It's been a pretty overall lackluster week in terms of performance. We're just waiting through the 55.30 break on ES. Once again, right back to 55.30. ES loves that 55.30. All right. Dollars flying. All right, ES is still pinned at 55.30, coming back up. VIX is still chopping along. Same old stuff today. 54.90 lotto today. Might need to wait till later until data takes a toll. Yeah, especially what we got going on here in 35 minutes as we got the shareholder meeting for NVIDIA. What's going to be crazy, though, is that if regular tech does not sell and NVIDIA rockets right back on with it, then we're going to have another blast off. We're going to have a repeat of yesterday afternoon. This blast off. Now, if they rotate, then it's going to be a lot of just wickiness. Even if it does trend, it'll be wiki. We're out of Apple, out of Microsoft, and NVIDIA. 12 Eastern. Yeah, 12 p.m. Eastern. Silver completely recovered their sell. Gold is trying to do the same thing after testing support. CL is still getting smoked. From a macro perspective, oil has been pinned since June 18th. Oil has been pinned in a $1 range since June 18th. Once they finally break out of this, we'll have more volatility, especially going into the summer months. If all the heat wave keeps up and oil price is still going up. But at the moment, we are doing a 5 times test of 80.3 on CL. So, once again, CL is reaching their side of the range as well. With increased volume, look at the amount of volume that oil has today. This is the highest amount of volume they've had since they entered into this range back on June 18th. But usually when you have such a high degree of volume, it's time to start moving. So keep an eye on CL the next week if I were you. $55.28. Man, this is boring. 161 yen. You remember when they were talking about crossing 152 on the yen? It's crazy. Crazy. $55.26 again. Let's see if the GEX is rolling. 55 is still the main strike. Now QQQ has rolled up to 482. That's the first time today they rolled it up that high, which is 3 points up from here. Let's go take a look at NVIDIA. Let's see it load. Let's see if I can get that thing to load. Right now, it's a bunch of calls selling. But let me take a look at their data. Anyone else have problems closing or opening on TOS? Anyone else have problems with that? All right, y'all, that is the 1 hour mark, so unfortunately I do have to call that a day. Most likely we'll have about a 120 point sell-off in about 48 seconds after I sign off. Just kidding, kind of. But appreciate y'all hanging out. I know it's been kind of choppy and sideways here, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Next week, Wednesday, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern Time, we'll do another Bookmap stream. Then, of course, we'll be back on stream tomorrow morning in the Discord for another day. Will I leave the Bookmap stream on? I'll have to sign on for in our server. I'm in the Bookmap server right now, but yeah, I will. I'll turn it back on. So, all right, y'all have a good rest of the day. Don't get chopped up, and be aware of the shareholder meeting in 28 minutes. Other than that, y'all have a fantastic day. I'm out. See you.